Canik SFX RIVAL. We're talking about a nice pistol that I really actually like, okay? Want to send a big shout out to my boys over at OTMI Targets. OTMI, they sponsored this pistol for our channel, and I really want to send a big thanks and a big shout out to OTMI Targets for all of their dedication and all of their help and everything it is that they do for us. So as you can see, we have an open, empty, not loaded pistol here. Okay. First thing I want to start with is the handleability of this pistol. The way that it actually feels in your hand. You can get a very good grip on this pistol, okay? The magwell allows my hands, a guy my size, the magwell allows my hands to sit in the right place where I'm getting great placement on this pistol. When I'm holding it, when I'm pushing out, where it is my thumb actually has a chance to sit, which might be on this slide release right here, but my thumb can just sit right there and it feels really good when it is I'm actually shooting it. The Canik SFX RIVAL comes loaded with special things for you to think about and for you to say, hey, I'm going to consider this pistol. And, you know, let's just start from the front of this, okay? Serrations. This gun comes with serrations on it that basically allow you to do certain things that other slides don't allow you to actually do. This slide right here, when I want to press check, when I want to rack the gun, when it is I want to do different things, there's a lot of different touch points on this slide that I actually like. And touch points are very important when it comes to you shooting, because a lot of this stuff, you know, it's memory of what you're doing, you know. So sometimes we don't always have the chance to look at things, you know, and we're operating off of the feel of it. So places that I have to put my hands on, this slide right here, to manipulate the slide, I'm really liking it. But the length of this barrel, I believe, is allowing me to have a much more comfortable shot. When I'm shooting it, it's not exploding and jumping inside my hand. And that's something that I really like. This trigger is a nice trigger. For this gun to come out the box, this is ready to rock and roll straight out the box. Just check this out right here. So we got to pull. We'll reset. It breaks right at 90 degrees. It's something that's very important to some shooters, where it is that actual break is at. And this trigger, the way that they sent it, it's nice. Just check that out right there. The magazine release button. The magazine release button, it actually is right there. I can manipulate this with no problems. We'll get a magazine in. So when I'm going from shooting to wanting to change a magazine, it's shooting right up out of there. There's a lot of guns in which, you know, I won't label them, but there's a lot of guns that the magazine just doesn't come shooting right out of the gun. The RIVAL comes with a really nice, long slide release button, okay? So when we got something that locks back and it's time, I get that magazine in there, I just hit that and it comes right down. The length of this slide release, it's giving me multiple uses when it is I'm actually shooting. And that's something that means a lot to me, because sometimes when we're shooting, we don't want to break our grip in a certain way, you know, and let's just say, okay, magazine comes out, new mag goes in. Thumb just slaps it, it's coming down, it's shooting forward, and I'm getting multiple uses out of this slide release, where, you know, a lot of people go and get a gas pedal. Well, when you have smaller hands like me, that gas pedal being a little bit further, you know, it's not a problem for you to get your hand a little bit further to sit on that gas pedal and have something for your fingers to sit against. But right here, this is a little bit more of a comfortable shooting position for me, as opposed to having my hand canted a little bit more forward, in which people's shooting styles are their shooting style. So I'm not talking down on that. I'm just talking about this for me and the practical usage that it does for me. It's really good that I get a chance for my thumb to actually sit right on the top of that slide release. So I'm digging some of the functions that this Canik SFX RIVAL has. It's ambidextrous also, so you can see if you are a left-hand shooter, you have the same actual function on the other side of the pistol. Okay, as is the magazine release button. The magazine release button is ambidextrous also. You can take it and you can change it. Inside the box, when they send it, they send you a few different magazine release buttons that go from a tiny, flatter one to this mid-sized one to a really elongated one. I haven't used the elongated one because I kind of thought maybe, you know, with the pistol being on my hip, you know, maybe I would touch it and I would eject the magazine out. So I found the perfect one for me. I love all of the accessories that Canik actually sent with this pistol inside the box. And that's something that if you're going to get a Canik, just know they're going to come with a lot of things that you can use on this pistol. And that's just an overall upgrade because a lot of gun companies don't send you all of this stuff. It's stuff that you got to go out and buy. You got to figure out. Canik, they're taking the need for you to do all this extra searching for things. They're taking that need away. And I like that a lot. Inside the box with the Canik, you're going to get multiple palm swells, okay? So depending on what size hand it is you have as a shooter or what your comfort is actually, destined to be, you have different palm swells that you can actually use on this pistol. And they knock out right here with a punch. I took a chance and I tried some of the different palm swells. And once again, I found the palm swell that was made for me, or the palm swell that I actually liked. And it was nothing but, a few minutes of a thing to try and change. You just knock out this punch, the palm swell comes off, you put another one in, and you tap it right back in. And once again, Canik sends everything you need inside the box in order for you to change this palm swell. And I got right to where it is that I actually liked and right to what it is that I actually needed. Canik sends this pistol with 2 extra magazines, and those magazines are actually great. But most of all, what it is I really like about the Canik, 18 round capacity in their magazine. Steel magazine. Goes right inside the pistol, shoots right out the pistol. I love it, right? But a lot of times when we get our new magazines, we have to deal with the spring and how heavy the spring is and whether we can actually get rounds in here. So right now I got 16 rounds in this magazine, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is for these next 2 rounds to make it inside the magazine. Just like that, the next 2 rounds got in there. So they even send the magazine to the pistol where it's ready for you to get your rounds in there where you're not struggling. If you're one of those people who don't like loading your magazine all the way up to the top because it's hard for you to get those last few rounds, not in this Canik. I'm going to say that right now. This Canik magazine, I mean, the pistol is great all the way down to the magazines. And I went and I purchased some extra magazines for this pistol, and it wasn't hard for me to find. I'm very big and I'm a stickler on trying to find accessories for the pistols that it is that I purchased. And I was able to find the accessories for this Canik at the first shop that I went to. Actually, the shop that I got the pistol from, I turned around and the extra magazines was sitting right on the display. And it was nothing, and they were affordable. The magazines are actually something that I have people call me all the time for strange pistols that they purchased, and they want to know, where can I get this magazine from? Can you give me some help? Do you got a website? I didn't have to go through none of that to get this extra magazine for this Canik. You see, I got a loophole delta point on the top of this, and I'm loving this delta point on the top of this pistol right here. I just zeroed it. As you can see, you see what some of this group is like. I just zeroed it, and it's feeling really good. Now, there was a concern coming from me when it came to the height over bore for this red dot on this pistol. And Canik sends you all the plates that you actually need in order for you to mount this pistol on the top of here. So I didn't have to go out and find plates and buy different plates and go on this endless search like I had to do with other pistols that I own. This one, it's all right inside the box. They had plates that matched any other, dot that I had. And I just thought to put the loophole on top of here because I thought it would go well. Now, something that I'm used to having a rear sight and a suppressor height front sight so that I could co-witness. In this case, loophole, you can actually put a rear sight in here, but then when I'm thinking, where's my front sight to line it up with, because this one is so low, that's something that I'm going to rely on my viewers. If you get a chance, jump inside the comments. Let me know what it is I can do to replace this front sight. I'm going to be thinking about getting a suppressor height front sight so I can go back to my co-witness, and I imagine it's going to have to be really tall because this kind of sits on top of here rather tall. But once you get shooting the pistol and you learn how to shoot the pistol according to your needs and your wants, you'll learn your adjustments on how it is you should be shooting. And I seem to, as you can see, I seem to have learned my adjustments on where it is and what it is I want this pistol to shoot like. But this dot sits on top of here really good. I can manipulate the slide off of the dot. It's not loose. It's nice and snug in here. And Canik sent all of the screws that I needed to mount this dot to this gun. They sent all of the screws inside the box, which is another plus to what it is that Canik is putting out. With this Canik product, it has this little indicator right here. And this indicator will let you know if your pistol is in the fire ready position. So right now, when you see that pin sticking out right there, you know that this trigger is actually ready to be fired. So I'll pull the trigger and you'll see that actually went away. So when I'm looking at the pistol, and if I wanted to say I need to have the hammer drop, like if I was in competition or something, or when you go on some of those ranges, your hammer actually has to be dropped, or the striker has to be, dropped in there. So I'll actually know just by checking it out. Once you rack it, you see it's ready to shoot, and you'll see that indicator right there. Once you squeeze the trigger, the indicator will disappear, and you already know I've squeezed the trigger and it's ready. It's actually in a necessity position to be racked in order for you to be ready to shoot. Whenever it is I'm considering buying a pistol, I'm always concerned with what it's going to be for me to get accessories for that pistol, okay? The only thing that I would say that I was concerned with most was, am I going to find a holster so that I could use this on the range? But Canik sent a holster inside the box with the pistol, and it's a great holster. It goes right in there. It locks in. You can perform your function test to see if it's going to shake out the bottom, and it's not. And it locks right in here. It actually comes with these, little cutouts so that I can put it on my belt. It slips right on my belt. And this is a range toy that came perfectly ready to use at the range. I like this little Kydex holster that they put in there. When it comes to taking this gun apart and field stripping this gun, if there's something that you want to do, I actually believe it's not hard at all. Canik makes it very easy for you. So you'll slide your slide back. You will take these two pins right here, your takedown. You'll pull those down. You'll drop the slide. You'll pull the trigger and just push it forward, and it comes right off. And now I have my gun taken apart so I can field strip it, and I can do some cleaning, and I can do some maintenance as best I would like to. Canik sends the pistol with a nice guide rod. The guide rod, it's not hard to get out. It's not a terrible guide rod. It actually has a steel spring on it, the guide rod spring, and the guide rod is actually steel also. So, for some people, this really makes a difference. And I haven't noticed what the difference is, because in other guns, sometimes you do have a plastic guide rod. Maybe that can get eaten away by the heat, or it can, be a deterrent to you having some sort of reliability. But Canik actually sent it really nice. The barrel inside this pistol is really, really nice. And the tolerance inside the barrel, it is a very nice, tight tolerance barrel. So I'm a reloader, and when I reload rounds for this pistol, I can count that I can make my rounds nice and tight and precision, and everything runs. I've ran a whole bunch of different ammo through this pistol so far. I'm not on 1,000 rounds today, but I'm probably on a few hundred rounds, a little bit more than 300. And this pistol, it actually runs. I haven't had any malfunctions. I haven't had anything that I can say I don't like about it. It's not a hard gun to take down or put back together. So when it comes to putting this pistol back together, basically, when you get it, you let it meet at the midpoint, okay? There's a midpoint right here. You put it on at the midpoint, and you just slide it back. And now you perform your functions to make sure that your pistol is actually working. It's a very easy pistol to take apart and put back together. Overall, for the price that this pistol was, for the price that it actually cost to purchase, I'm going to say this is one of the best on the market. I'm not going to list the price because I know different outlets and different stores have them for different prices. But anytime I've researched this pistol, I've seen it for a price that I was like, oh, yeah, I got to get that right there. And I'm just, very blessed that OTMI Targets came through and they said, we want to give you this right here. We want to gift this to you for your dedication and for some of your testings and things like that. And this has been my dedicated range gun for the past couple of months right now. And I'm really digging what Canik has actually put inside that box. It's a complete product. It's something that I would recommend if you're someone who's getting out, you want a fun gun, you want a range toy. I haven't considered concealing this pistol right here, but it's about the size of a Glock 17, a little bit bigger than a Glock 17. So, if it was a winter time and I had on some bigger clothes, I would definitely say this is something that I could conceal, and I would consider concealing and taking out for the day. I didn't have to do any upgrades to this pistol, and that's something that I really, really like. When this came, it came perfectly. It did not come where it is. I did not pick this pistol up where it is I had to change anything. There's absolutely nothing that I changed on this pistol that was not in the box, and it wasn't ready for me to actually, do what it was that I wanted to do. The trigger, thumbs up. The handleability of this, thumbs up. What it is I can touch on the slide, how it is I can manipulate it, thumbs up. How it is the barrel is, thumbs up. The tolerance and tightness of the slide on the frame, there's no wiggle in any strange way, thumbs up. Canik, they have an overall great product, something that I suggest.